All right, it is time to get started. We are happy that you are all back. Thank you so much for dedicating more time to be with us today. You are so greatly appreciated. We hope that we bring to you a wonderful experience over the next 90 minutes. All right. So before we get going, I do want to take a moment to thank the product experts. We just had Jennifer Davis live on screen answering questions, giving demos over the content we've covered in the bootcamp so far. If you have not taken advantage of office hours yet, please know that 30 minutes before the workshop, you can just enter the workshop early and you can just sit and listen and watch just for some reinforcement, or you can drop questions in the Q&A panel and you'll have some live on-screen demonstrations as well as some answers coming to you through that panel from backstage. So if you want to take advantage of office hours, please join us up to 30 minutes before each one of the workshops and get that additional layer of support. Again, we had some great feedback roll in following the workshops. I'm loving seeing that come through. Greatly appreciate it. Keep it coming. I love this. Don't lose it. I hate this. Fix it. Give me both. I want it all, so that we can be better every single time we circle up together. All right. So I'm actually going to share my screen and go over a little bit of what I like to call the laundry. Okay. Here we go. You should be able to see my screen now. And here are your product experts today. Backstage, we've got Jade Path and Ken. We also have Scott Wismont and Jennifer. So they will be back there answering the Q&A panel feverishly as you add your questions to it. So thank you very much for their time this morning to be here to support us. We greatly appreciate it. One more shout out for Brent. We've been getting these pictures. We got it from workshop 1 and we got it again for workshop 2. And they just make us all smile. It goes all around our Slack channel, just giving everybody a little mood boost every day. It's fantastic. So I thought he definitely deserved a shout out. I love these pictures so much that I'm even gonna forgive Brent for snapping this picture when I'm making whatever face that is right there. I feel like a movie star. I'll like be editing the videos to post them for you guys after Zoom gives them to me. And sometimes I'll like pause and I'm like, oh, that's what I look like. So it's definitely been humbling, but love this. Thank you so much, Brent. All right, so the use book we listen slide. Feedback came in that, yay, thanks for putting the PDFs up there. They look great when I open them, but when I print them, they're a hot mess. Okay, I heard you. I changed the format. It looks good for some, not for others. So what I did this time was just grab the checklist, put them into a doc, turn to that doc. I tried printing. I had some other people try printing, and everybody's had success so far. I'm going to quick pop over and show you where you can find those. One, I posted them in the chat, but I know that gets buried. So they are sitting and waiting for you. I'm going to scroll. Don't get dizzy. I got to go find workshop 3. It's right here, workshop 3. Click here for printable checklists. All right. And Jennifer tried it just this morning and showed me the little papers. So hopefully it works for you too. Hopefully as we iterate, this becomes a lot easier for you all. Let's see, back we go. Can you include even more details in the checklist? You bet. Done. Ben and I sat down yesterday and went item by item by item through the workshop 3 checklist, and we hope that they're very thorough for you and very helpful. Question about the recordings. Where are the recordings? They are embedded directly in your training guide for each workshop. On the second part of this question, why did workshop 2 take so long to get posted? And my best answer is Karina broke Zoom. It didn't come in for a long time. If you were monitoring on Wednesday, you saw this little purple banner right here say, it's 7:30, still no video. It's 9:30, still no. It was every half hour I was checking, it just wasn't coming in. But it finally came in yesterday afternoon and I got it posted. So voila, sorry for the delay. I wrote a strongly worded email to Zoom. They didn't respond. I don't know what to do with that. You will also find the videos in YouTube and you'll find them in Turn and Learn. But the first place I drop the video is right here because everybody's accessing that all the time. So I figure one spot for everything is the best way to go. So there you go. The video is there. I will also, if you noticed, I'm going to scroll up. Don't get dizzy. After workshop 1, I dropped the Q&A, the frequently asked questions summary right here at the bottom of the workshop. I'm going to do the same for workshop 2. The document is ready. It is downloaded. It's queued up. I've got a sticky note telling me to do it. I will drop it very soon after this workshop. And then finally, oh, maybe I imagined that one. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. All right. So there's the you spoke. We listened. Keep the feedback rolling in. All right. The rest of the laundry before we get started, just a friendly reminder. I know some of you have heard this twice. You're going to hear it a third time because we have people joining us for the very first time today in the workshop. So just a reminder, the chat is social. Ask each other questions there. Talk to each other. Have a blast. It's your space. But we are going to be monitoring the Q&A panel because hundreds of questions come in during workshop, and we don't want them to get lost in chat. So if you need us, please drop your question in the Q&A panel. If you just want people to help you, then chat is fine. You guys are great at helping each other. We do ask, please, 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 limit your questions in the Q&A panel during workshop 3 to the content you're learning in workshop 3 so that we can really have that live helpful support for what we're doing right now. Your other questions definitely deserve an answer, but please not in the Q&A panel during this session so we can really get people on-demand support with today's current topics. Friendly reminder, Fin first, please. With so many attendees, if you ask Fin first, he's great. He's deflecting over 90%. Deflecting, I shouldn't even say it's a weird word. He's answering to your satisfaction over 90% of the questions that are asked during the workshops. So if you ask him first before you drop it in the Q&A panel, that will increase the number of your questions that can get answered on demand the moment you want it during this workshop. And then anything that he doesn't do a great job of answering, you can drop in that Q&A panel to get some tailored support. And with that pairing, we think we can get everything answered in the time that we're here together. A few questions have rolled in about trial extensions, and that is getting worked on behind scenes to get everything up and running on extensions. You shouldn't have to do much. If you were not a Tern trial or subscriber at all, if you were brand spanking new to Tern, a code was going to be sent so that you could sign up for an extended trial. If you were already trialing, that's happening behind scenes. If you find that your trial zips up and you're blocked before we finish getting through, because there's hundreds of you to manually update, if you get blocked before we get to you in the queue, please email us. Okay, you can email the Tern support team. You can tell Fin, hey, my trial ended, I need to extend it. How do I get help? Or you can email the support team. You can email me. Tons of ways to get help. Just make sure you reach out to somebody and we'll make sure you're taken care of. For those of you that are coming to us for the first time today, there are a couple of things you're asking. How can I catch up on workshop 1 and 2? In your training guide, the video for workshop 1 is on the workshop 1 card. There it is. And there's all your checklists right here. And the video for number 2 is on the number 2 card. You can totally catch up asynchronously whenever you have time. If you don't know how to use Fin, if you're new to us today and you don't know how to use Fin, in the how to get help section of your training guide, I put a little helper video right there that'll walk you through how to use Fin. Okay. Next up, where are you, Zoom toolbar? Zoom toolbar that has like the chat and the Q&A and the resources panel and everything hides. Our best advice is to hover. Put your mouse over top of your Zoom screen and hover. I think for you, it's off to the right. Mine bounces up to the top. So just hover around your Zoom screen and it should appear. The training guide, for those of you that are new and you don't have time to go hunt down, I'm going to leave this on the screen for just a moment. This QR code right here will take you straight to the training guide. I also created a tiny URL that I think is memorable. So if you wanted to quick jot that down, the tinyurl.com/ternbootcamp. tinyurl.com/ternbootcamp. The link is also in your welcome email. It's in the chat and it's in your Q&A resources panel, but hopefully one of these works for you. Okay. That I believe gets us started and ready to go. So I'm going to hand it over to Ben to get us started for the day. Thank you so much for being here again. All yours.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bootcamp Session 3. Let's first talk about what we covered in the previous bootcamp. So in the last one, there were 3 ways we talked about contacts and how to get them into Tern. So we talked about how you can manually add contacts. The second option we talked about was having your clients fill out a contact form and how Tern brings that information actually into the system. And the third way that we talked about was the import tool. After that, we then focused on financials and how to add all things money to your trips. We learned how to open each component and add pricing and deposit amounts. And we also learned that you can configure the payments and terms and schedules. And then we added our expected commissions. So beyond that, we went into how to polish our itinerary so we could send it to the client for trip approval. We did things like adding tailored descriptions to the trip overview, adding more descriptions to each component, and then adding imagery and critical legal documents like terms and conditions and cancellation policies, etc. So the last thing we did actually was we sent it off to our traveler. So we hope you had time in between these sessions to actually review that as the traveler and send the proposal back with a couple of requests. So if you didn't have time to do that, no worries, you'll have time to catch up either in this workshop or beyond. But that's kind of what we're going to focus on today. We're going to dive into our client feedback, and we're going to show you how to confirm your traveler approved the proposal and see if they made any requests or comments. We're going to dive into our itinerary and basically we'll move on to the revisions. And since our traveler did request some room choices, we're going to show you how to add room options today. After that, we're going to polish it up once again. So once the client revision requests are complete, we're going to prepare the itineraries for booking and credit card authorizations. And the final thing we're going to talk about is actually how do we bring in trips that are what we like to call like in flight. So when we set an FIT for a trip aside for a bit, or oftentimes when the traveler comes into Tern, they need to move trips that are already planned into the systems for either commission tracking or just to move it over so they can move quickly and send it back to their client, get an authorization and send them on their way. So that's the final thing we'll talk about today. That being said, let's start with viewing our client feedback. I'm going to start sharing my screen here. Give me just one moment. And all right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I get that feedback a lot that maybe it's not big enough. So hopefully that'll do the trick for everybody here. Here we are on our Tern trip dashboard, and we want to view client feedback. So your travelers are going to be viewing the itinerary potentially many times throughout the trip planning process. And when viewing a Tern itinerary, customers can make trip approvals, they can request revisions, and they can authorize their payments all through one system, all through one link, as Jennifer was kind of talking about earlier today. So we'll be showing you how you can monitor your customers' actions and requests right now. So let's dive into the trip that we've been planning. And we have our notebook experience here. It's still in our planning phase on our trip board. So I'm going to click into that. And it's going to bring us to our trip overview dashboard. So one thing I want to point out here is our activity log. You can see down here below, past activity. So down here, you can see everything that was added, everything that's been done, and right here, I see someone has requested revisions on the notebook. So we can see either that in our past activity. Another way to view this is to actually look in our emails tabs. If you have your email connected to Tern, it's gonna kind of pull those emails in, and it looks here. I have 2 different emails from this client, and we can dive into one of them and see what the request actually is. It's gonna be pulled in right here. Pull that over. So revisions have been requested on the notebook. Well, while I love the room you chose, I'm curious if there's another option, maybe a bit more space. As you know, traveling with a teenager requires the ability for for our to have some alone time together. Okay, so they want another room added to their itinerary. So we're going to show you how to now add room options. Since we've been working on the stay at Charleston here, I'm going to go down into that. So I've opened up my itinerary. I'm going into the lodging event here, and I'm going to open that up. So we've already entered our resort information here, and we entered some room information already, and we loaded some media, and we built out, like I said, we built out that room option. So now we want to add a second room. So here's our first room. Everything looks good, and they said they might want one with a bit more space. So I'm going to go scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you can see here, there's a little button that says Add Room. It's going to populate the same thing that you had just in the first one where you entered the name and the description. You can assign travelers here, but just as the same thing, we want to go through the exact same process as we did before. So we're going to open a new tab with the URL for the Harborside rooms. This link is in your training guide under Workshop 1. Try it for yourself. So I'm going to jump into that. I already have it preloaded. I want to keep those dates again. So we're going through the same process that we had before. Our dates, we're going to add our dates. This time I'm going to pay a little bit closer attention to pricing because the room that we choose now might be a little bit different than the other one. So I think we chose the Superior Queen bed with island view or inland view. And we have 2 queen beds. Oh, inland. Looks like they're kind of the same. One has a balcony, Superior to inland. I think the balcony is the best one we can do. So maybe we'll offer them a king room. I know they said they wanted 2 beds. Here we go. We'll do an inland view and a harbor view. So just to confirm, I want to go back and see which room I added before. It looks like we had the harbor view. So let's offer the king with the harbor view and see if that's the one that they would choose. So just like I'd done before, I'm going to copy all this information right here. Just Command C on a Mac. I'm going to go back into my lodging event to my second room and drop that info here. Excellent, just like before. Saving me typing, I'm gonna copy that because that's the name of our room. And I do want to add a picture just like we had in the other one. And I'm just gonna steal the view picture that they have here. So I'm gonna copy this, just as I'd done before, and I'm gonna drop that right above. Preload, excellent. It's cool because then it shows the view. The other one kind of shows the room. It gives them a little bit of diversity. All right, check this information. It's looking good. Oh, I don't like that last dot. Something didn't populate, so I'll just delete that one for now. And looks good to me. So the next thing you need to do to make sure that your client can actually choose these rooms is you need to convert it to room options. So if you scroll back up to the top, you see that there's room selections and you can convert this to options. So I'm gonna click this and it's gonna tell you, hey, are you sure? Tern likes to make sure that you're making the right decisions, that you're very sure about what you're offering to your client. So this is kind of just a little safety net. If you had any authorizations that were already in there, it's going to clear those and give other options again. So now that we have that, we do need to add our booking and pricing into here. Right, so I've clicked over now to the booking and pricing page, And we need to make sure that we have it selected to per room pricing. And notice that the Superior King Harbor View room is now loaded, right? So I actually didn't grab the pricing. Maybe I'll jump back to that Harbor Charleston view, see what it looks like. It looks like it's $314 a room or $314 a night. I'm going to grab that number. Just remember that number. I haven't dove in to see if this is like includes all the taxes and pricing and all the other aspects of things. So I'm just going to put that in here. Make sure you cover the taxes and fees before loading all this to your customer. You don't want to get stuck paying for extra fees for them. Another call out here that is really important, that make sure you tell your clients that pricing isn't necessarily guaranteed until the time of booking. Okay, so I've added my pricing in here. I have it, still have it as per room per night. All right, make room selections to calculate total activity price. Perfect. So these purple flags, again, are just kind of like gentle reminders or warnings for your customer. So here we've entered our pricing. We're going to go down and check our deposit amounts. We can add a deposit due date. The travel dates are coming up pretty quick, so we might want to add our deposit date. And I'll just give them maybe a week to put their deposit in. One thing about adding multiple rooms or anything like that is that the deposit amount will remain the same for all of them. We can't fluctuate that amount. So kind of keep that in mind there. It's ready for authorization. Looking good to me. And that's going to be the end of cycle 1. We want to give you some time to try this out for yourself. So I'm going to hand it back off to Karina and give you some time to add another room.
Hello, everybody. Let me get our stuff queued up. So, to recap, you have now had time to see Ben go in and see his traveler response and make some revisions. It's now going to be your turn. So, you're going to start off by going into your trip overview and viewing past activity to see what your traveler requested, even though you already know because you were the one that made the request. So you're going to pop in there, you're going to check the email and see what is it that they actually requested, and then go make that revision. Even if your revision request wasn't additional room options, in the checklist, it does have you rolling through that so that you can get experience with providing room options, since that's so common. So even if that's not your request, please make sure that you get in and try that too. So let's start by finding the checklist we need. I'm going to come back to this in a moment. Let's go here. So close your eyes, don't get dizzy. I'm headed to workshop 3. Headed down to, here we go, workshop 3. If you came in late, there's a button right here. You click it, it'll download your checklist. If you like to have printable checklists, one caveat there. When you do that, any updates that I make for clarity or to add a little extra help, because I got feedback like, Karina, I feel like it would help if you added a little bit more information in this area. Like, you won't get those updates if you do the printable version because it's static, it's done, it's loaded. But if you utilize the drop downs in the training guide, those edits go live as soon as I make them. So there's your caveat. You do what works best for you. I just wanted you to understand what's happening. So we just wrapped topic 1. So you're going to head down to workshop 3. We just finished topic 1. It is now time for you to try it yourself. So if you toggle open, if this is your first time with us, apologies if you've been here for both the workshops and you're tired of hearing me say open the toggle, but for those of you that are new today, open the toggle. There is your checklist. I have moved the trip request details and put them in here also, so you didn't have to go back to workshop 1 to find them. So if you don't need them, it's okay. Skip over that part of your checklist. I do want to call your attention though, right here, the Harborside rooms, that link, just click on it. It's a hyperlink and it'll take you to those rooms that Ben used for his demonstration, so you don't have to go find it on your own. Wanted to make it a bit easier. I think that's all the notable mentions I have. What I'm going to do is leave this screen shared right now, just so that as people pop out and pop back, you know where we're at in the workshop. I will give you about a 1-minute warning when our time to get hands-on practice wraps. If this is your first time with us, we don't expect you to get through the whole checklist. in the time that we have together. We just want you to get started and like while it's fresh in your memory what you saw, get some hands-on experience with it. So don't feel stressed if we circle back before you're done. All right, I'm going to mute myself now so that you can focus. And I will come back off mute and give you about a 1 minute warning when it's time. All right, we're going to circle back up and move on to the second topic. So if you can bring your attention back to the demo, as we always do, as soon as that demo's over, you're going to get to go get some hands-on experience. So if you could bring your full attention back, that way you don't miss anything, it will be great. All right, Ben, all yours.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So now that we've added the requested revisions to our itinerary, it's time to polish it up before sending it off for booking and credit card authorization. So once revised, your itinerary should be elevated for presentation, adding destination content. This is now you can enter your legal terms, polishing visuals, and locking in the pricings and policies. So once that's complete, you're going to send it to your clients for that authorization. So let's look at our prepared itinerary. Let's share my screen here. All right, come back into our dashboard. So today we won't be able to demonstrate like a full Q&A check and final polish, since that requires opening the drip and overviewing every component, but we will highlight a few critical considerations today. So let's start by making sure that our legal documentation is added before moving on to any of the onto financials and presentation aspects. To do so, we're going to open up a new trip element, and in this case, we'll use flights. So I'm going to go back to the notebook experience again from my dashboard. We're still in planning. It's not booked yet. It's been approved, but not quite booked yet. So let's go into our itinerary here, and we're going to check out this flight. All right, for each component, you're going to add a supplier booking details, terms and conditions, cancellation policies. If you were here for the office hours, actually Jennifer went through a great demonstration of this, diving into deep detail about how to do some of these aspects. But for today, I really just want to focus in on adding that booking supplier. So if we move over to our booking and pricing here, you can see that we have our pricing just like we had in our lodging event, different ways to pay, our payment details as well. And then we're going to focus in down here on our booking details. So for today, we're going to use, say our client actually booked these flights through United, or we wanted to give them options for United Airlines. So you can type it in and it's going to pull from our database a list of booking suppliers that you can book through. So there's United Air or United Airlines. I'm going to choose United Airlines. Okay, perfect. So below that, you can see that we can add our supplier terms and conditions, and we can add our supplier cancellation policy. So to add the terms and conditions, you can click the button right here and see what's available. There's 3 formats in which you can add these terms and conditions. You can enter the web link directly here. You can download it from the web and actually do a direct file upload, or you can add some custom text. For our training purposes, you've been provided with a link to the United Airlines terms and conditions page, and you can paste that directly into the field here. So I just want to make sure that I have the right one. I'm going to click over to that terms and conditions page, make sure it's the correct one. Looks like it. Okay, I'm going to copy that URL directly, drop that into the web format right here, and boom, adds to your terms and conditions. You can do the same here with your cancellation policies, and you can always add a custom description as well. Fully refundable, partially refundable, make sure you're using the right one, and you can add custom description. So that's nice to always have that flexibility, make sure you're completely covered, and we're good to go. We've added our legal documents, we have pricing in place, we have everything we need here. So let's jump back into our lodging event to really go over the last elements of our financial kind of coverage here. So I'm going to go back to our itinerary. And since we've been focusing in on this one for the majority of the workshops, that's where we want to spend most of our attention. A lot of the things we're doing in this element are universal. They're going to be able to be applied to all events.
Hey Ben, I just wanted to
Hey,
jump in. A couple questions in the chat about the terms and conditions not showing up. I think that's because potentially they missed enabling credit card
oh,
authorization. Did you just want to jump in and make sure that everyone knows how to make sure that that shows up?
absolutely. That is a great call out, Jade. Perfect. Okay, so I'll go back to that flight. If absolutely. So if we're in our booking and pricing here, here. If you have not approved for to collect credit card authorizations within Tern, you'll be able to. You have to go back in and turn that on for your clients, and you can do that within your settings. So once you do that, those things will appear, and you'll be able to add both the terms and conditions and the booking. So you can do that if you go into your settings. I'm just going to jump over there really quick. I know this might be a little bit of a deterrent, but if you've already done this, don't worry about it. Under your trip settings, you click this button here for payment authorizations. So that will allow, and then those will start to populate for you. You'll have plenty of time to work on this, so don't worry about it if you don't have that set up just yet. You can do that later, and there's instructions actually within your guide how to do that. Thanks for the call out, Jade. Appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna go back to our lodging event and look at our booking and pricing. And as I said, many of these things are universal across all elements in your itinerary. So let's look at our booking and pricing and check our pricing details one more time. So I'm kind of just Q&Aing this, making sure that everything looks good, looking for my purple banners. I'm gonna scroll down to the booking details just as we did a minute ago. Let's go down here, final balance, booking details. Okay. This is where you can add your booking details for the hotel. If it's not populated, you can always create the supplier. This is for tracking purposes. This is never client facing. They won't see who you're actually booking their hotel through. They'll just see where they're staying from the general information. So once again, you might have these purple banners that are letting you know that I still need to add booking details. So make sure you do that. We entered our supplier here. And once you've done this for every component, we recommend you take one more final look into your authorizations tabs to make sure everything's all buttoned up. So we have our pricing, we haven't added our commission just yet. We'll do that in a bit, but make sure that we have that there. Okay. We can look at our authorizations, see what's available. You can see that some are ready, some are not ready. All right, I'm gonna dive back in and actually add that commission because I wanna make sure that I'm getting paid, make sure I have everything buttoned up first. Bookings and pricings. So the commission structure is kind of the last financial element you need to review for accuracy. So if you're running this through your agency, slowly go down to that so I don't make you all dizzy here. This is where you can add your expected commission. For this one, I'm gonna say it's $110. Custom split, 90%. You can add your expected date if you know what that is. And if you're running this, as I said, if you're running through this through your agency and you change your commission structure, it will need to be reviewed by your agency owners before they can actually pay you out and reconcile those commissions with you. So as I said, we're going to jump back to the authorization tab because that is the last place you want to see everything. I've got this all buttoned up. We can see what's ready, what's not ready. This is just a really good indicator of maybe where more work needs to be done, and Tern will tell you exactly what work does need to be done in these aspects. So we're missing a total price, or we're missing a booking, a supplier, and total price. All of those aspects are in there for you. So I spent a little bit of time dolling up this itinerary to get it ready for client presentation. And I've added the ability to make room selections. I set it up for credit card authorizations. So for demo purposes, I'll jump back to that now.
Hey, Ben, just wanted to
Yeah,
jump in really quickly and circle back to terms and conditions. Can
sure.
you just explain too, whose terms and conditions you should be putting into that field? There's a couple questions and yeah, the best practices associated there, and that it should be whoever will actually be charging, whatever supplier will be showing up on the credit card statement and who will be charging that, right?
Right. Okay, great. So let's just do that right here with our lodging event again, because we've just been focusing in on that. So I'll go back to that. I don't want to move too fast, but I'll go back to that booking and pricing, because this all has to do with the financial, who's being charged, where's it going. So the terms and conditions here are with your supplier, right? So this isn't necessarily with the hotel, this is with your supplier. So these are the people who you're actually booking through. Those are the terms and conditions you want to add there. That's again with your cancellation policy. We want to make sure that we're adding it through the supplier you're going through. You can always add notes, say about the hotel and what their cancellation policy, but you want to make sure that they're congruent, either with your booking and the hotel, that you're adding the right ones here. Hopefully that clarifies it for you. If you have more questions, you can definitely throw them in the Q&A, or I'm happy to go back and cover them once again. Okay, so as I was saying, I've kind of built this out already. I polished it up for demo purposes, and I want to show you kind of what it fully looks like once you have all your terms and conditions, all of your pricing, all of your commission structures already in there. So I'm going to go back to my trips dashboard. And in my inbound, I've made a copy of it. I did put this template into the community, so you might have this as well. And I'm going to pull up that itinerary. All right, so here, I'm going to show you what the fully fleshed out authorization page will look like. We have our flights, which are ready. There's nothing else that I need to add in there. It shows that they're ready. This is a cool call out that Tern does. This shows you that both your credit card authorizations are ready for the rooms once they're selected. So as soon as your client selects that room, the authorization will be ready. You don't have to do anything. It's just going to switch that over for you. You can exclude things from credit card authorization. I excluded this house visit because it's actually a free walking tour. You do that on your own, just kind of informational. So you want to make sure that you preview your itinerary often. So I'm going to go back to the itinerary and check it out. You can see that we have 7 items that are ready. Preview this itinerary. All right, so this is what your client is going to see. You want to make sure that your imagery and your description is professional and engaging. Take note of any elements that you want to enhance or change. This is really where you get to shine. You want this to be engaging at every element, including pictures, descriptions, media content, as much as you want or as little as you want to add to kind of go with your workflow and your style of presentation. All right. You do also, a lot of people come and ask me, like, how do you change this banner in the background and that main description right at the beginning? So to do that, I'm going to go back to my trip and show you how you can do that. If you edit your itinerary from these 3 dots, you can enhance and update these elements. So if I edit my itinerary, here we go. This is where you can add that back cover photo. You want to make sure it's high quality because it is going to be blown up. The one that I chose actually is a little pixelated. So before I sent this to my customer, I would probably choose a different one and step that up a notch. And then this is where that overall statement comes in. This is the first thing that they're going to see on their itinerary. So I like to add a little bit of personality, maybe some emojis, and really just a great description of what's going to be happening on their trip. This is where you really sell it and get them excited to travel. Right, pardon me. So now we're ready to publish. Everything looks great, ready to go. And you can see right in the top corner, there's this red blinking button, which means I've made updates to this trip and that I'm ready to share with my client. And when I click that publish button, let's see what happens. Excellent. It's going to open an email that you can edit and send directly to your customer, or if you prefer, you can copy this link right here and send it elsewhere. We're going to go ahead and use this email template. So this is where you're going to craft your email to your client. Hey there, your trip is ready. You're going to want to provide them here with all the basically actions that they need to do in this after this email is sent to them. They'll be asked to do credit card authorizations, payments, and then you can book the trip. So make sure that you explain exactly what you want them to do in this email. And you can see that Tern will automatically load a link to their trip. It's preloaded here. You can preview what that email looks like. Here we go. And then you can send it off. So let's see what happens. Send. It's sent. It goes directly into your customer's email. There's an automation that or activity that is sent that you've sent it off. You've published it. It's ready to go. And they can make selections, make their credit card authorizations, and go from there. Let's see. And I want to see what that actually looks like. So I'm going to pull up my Traveler account and see what it looks like from their side of things. So to do so, I have to pull up a incognito tab, which I've actually done before. So this is what it looks like from the client's perspective. We have their overview, their daily overview, pricing, and it looks like there's a call out here for them to make some room decisions. So I can show you what that looks like here. All right, so here's that other room that we added. They can view the details directly. And even though they said they wanted a little bit more room, can select the room they want. We're going to stick with the one at the beginning, and they can submit their selections. And then after that, you can see everything is ready and itemized for credit card authorization and ready to go. Here is where your client will then add their card. They can add all the details, and we're good to go. There are instructions in your checklist guide to walk you through this process of viewing, making selections, and authorizing these bookings. So I'm going to hand it off to Karina to explain kind of what your task is after this point.
All right, so we are going to now move on to the checklist for topic 2. So let me pull this up. So inside of your training guide, you probably still have topic 1 open. So I close that up using the caret next to the checklist. I'm going to scroll down to topic 2. I'm going to open that caret so I can see the whole checklist. I'm going to put this up on the screen for you for the quiet time, but it won't include the whole entire checklist, but that's okay. You can use this one right here if you get further along than what's going to be on my screen. There is a lot to remember. We know that. So we've tried to put some helpful information inside of the checklist. And please also remember that you've got Fin at your fingertips if you forget something or want more clarity on something that Ben shared with you. There's also help articles available. Please use all the resources that are available to you. We know we can't show you everything. We would love to, but that would be so overwhelming. So we're hopeful that you can get to the information you need very easily through Fin and the Help Center. Again, this list is probably too long for you to get through in the time that we have available, so please don't feel rushed. You can finish this anytime before the next workshop, and you have all the way till Wednesday before we circle back together. So don't feel pressure to rush through this portion. Just take your time, get a little hands-on experience. You may be wondering at the end when you send it to yourself, and you're supposed to simulate that traveler credit card authentication, like how am I going to do that? Don't worry, in your checklist, I'm scrolling down in your checklist, you're going to see an actual test card that you can use anytime you want to do this. And it's actually going to go through as if the authorization came through. So you can see a truly authentic experience of interacting with your traveler. All right, with that, I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to put this screen back up. We're going to move on to topic 2, and I will give you a 1-minute warning when it's close to ending time for your hands-on session. All right. We are circling back now. I just wanted to take a moment and remind everybody that the questions that are going into the chat aren't monitored by our expert panel because they are focused on that Q&A panel. So if you've asked Finn a question and you don't get the clarity you need, if you post in the chat, the community members may help you out. If you want one of our product experts to answer your question, you'll need to drop that in the Q&A panel. We do ask that you ask him first. He will answer over 90% of the questions he gets beautifully and with a lot more detail actually than we'll have time to in the Q&A panel. Another thing that came up, there are reminders in your checklist, but you probably haven't gotten there yet, and that's why the question is popping up. But when you view as a traveler, please make sure that you are using your non-Tern email. When you set up your traveler profile, you were supposed to set up your traveler profile using an email that didn't belong to your Tern account. That way you weren't getting blocked from that traveler experience because you were getting the advisor experience. So if you didn't set that up correctly, you can either go make your traveler account with a personal email, or you can use an incognito window for your browser. So that it's not seeing your advisor login. Hopefully that's helpful to those of you that have gotten to that point and have that question. And with that, I'm going to turn things back over to Ben for our final topic of today.
Awesome, Karina. Thanks for that. Thanks for that call out. Yeah, I tend to use an incognito window so I can switch back and forth when I'm kind of testing things out on my traveler account. So that's a really good call out. All right, so now we're going to move to like, how do we migrate trips that we are already building or that we have somewhere else, or maybe we just have a quick booking that we want to throw into Tern for bookkeeping purposes, say. So we know that a lot of agents are coming into Tern and have lots of trips like that they just need to get into the system quickly. So whether you need them, like I said, just for tracking commissions with your agency, or you want to keep planning with your customer, but you started somewhere else, we have an efficient solution that will show you how to bring those trips over for both scenarios. So I'm going to go back to my trip dashboard. Here we are. Excellent. Okay, so the first one I want to show you is just like starting with a quick book. So this approach really expedites the process of getting important details like confirmation numbers, supplier information, pricing, and expected commissions into Tern. So you'll bring in a single element like a booking, a flight, or a hotel, and you can enter it as a trip and a quick book package. So to do so, we do have to start a new trip as we always do. So I'm going to start a new trip here in the top right corner. There we go. And for this one, let's say I'm going to title it Quick Book, Italy. Oops. And my name, let's see if I can spell that right. There we go. Regular trip. We don't need to fill in any of this information necessarily, besides the fact that this trip is already booked. So I want to click that. And I'm going to add dates later. Boom. All right. So I've created a trip here. Booked. And now with the Quick Book feature, it'll be added to your dashboard right directly into the booking column as long as you mark that at the beginning. So we're going to go directly to our bookings tab here. And so this is where we can add new items for a quick booking. So I'm going to add a few different items here. Notice all of the activity items come up, or itinerary items come up here. So let's say for this one, I've added a lodging event. Go back. I'm going to add a new item, say there's an activity. And again, just like building an itinerary, these either they open up directly into it, and you can add them one by one or kind of work on them individually. That's completely up to your workflow and your style. But I want you to see that when you do open them, let's do one more, say a flight. It goes directly here to your general info. Going back, here we go. It says not booked. Excellent. We have all of our elements in here for our quick booking. So assuming that you have all this information here, notice that it jumps right into our booking and pricing because that's all we really want to do here. We're not adding the general info, we're not adding rooms, we're not adding media because we're not building an itinerary here. We're just doing a quick booking for tracking purposes. So you can see it jumps right to where you need to be, where you can enter all your pricing details, your credit card information. If you need to still collect that, you can add that information here. If you already have it, you can put in your final details and payment amounts and mark it as paid, which is fantastic. Go all the way down to the bottom. Here we go. And we can just mark this one as booked. And it's going to say, hey, you're missing a couple of details here, so I have to go back in and add some information. Let's say for this one, it's pricing, booking and pricing. I'm just going to do this for demo purposes. This is $1,000. We have a deposit final balance. We collected a deposit amount of $100, and we can mark this as paid. When you mark something as paid, it excludes from credit card authorization. We don't need that information. We can mark this one as paid. Good to go. Add our commission. And also add our supplier. It's important to add our supplier here because that's what we're tracking here. So this is all the information we kind of entered before. All right, so if I go back now to my bookings, all of these informations are here. So you're going to want to go through each element and add all the necessary information for tracking, which is your pricing, your credit card authorization, the days that they're paid, and your commission structure. Excellent. So that should do it for our quick book. I want to show you one more thing, what this looks like actually on your dashboard. So going back on our trip dashboard, I marked it as booked in the beginning. So where is it? There it is, Quick Book Italy Whitcomb. Perfect. So that's one way you can quickly add just elements individually into Tern. There's one other way that I want to show you for the end of our workshop today, and that's how to throw in a complete itinerary from a PDF. So we're going to start one more new trip. This is the second way to do a quick booking. So for this one, I'm going to call this PDF parsing. I already have it pre-populated. That's great because I was practicing before. This is already pre-booked, ready to travel. Excellent. Add dates later. Okay. So again, back to our dashboard, our trip dashboard as normal. You can go into our itinerary. And this is where we get to use our AI Assist feature. It says here, quickly build your itinerary by uploading a PDF or copying and pasting the itinerary content. So instead of adding everything manually, you can just attach an existing PDF of a trip that you've pre-planned or one that you found that somebody else has done that you want to use, and you can add it directly here. So we're going to attach a PDF here by using the paperclip and grab it straight from our downloads. I have a trip already planned under Italy here, and I'm just going to attach it. So open. Now AI is doing its thing. Our AI assistant is doing its thing. So it's parsing our itinerary. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to really read through all the information and kind of parse everything out exactly how you want it. But it's going to read the file and interpret what it sees. After like parsing the details, you're going to want to review them. So be patient, let the PDF download and do its thing. And once it pops up, you can review it to see if it's accurate enough to add to your itinerary. You will still have full editing functions available, so you'll be able to fix any mistakes that you may find. If the parsing doesn't work very well, or you don't really like how it looks, or you want to make specific edits to add into the AI Assist, you can always copy the information directly from your PDF and drop that into the AI Assist as text, and it will do the same thing. Sometimes that actually works a little bit better, so try it out, play around with it. Again, AI is not perfect, it makes mistakes, so it is up to you to kind of run through and make sure it looks exactly like what you want. Excellent. Okay, so it's parsed. I have one flight, info, lodgings, everything. I'm going to review my details. It takes a second to load this aspect as well. It's a big trip to Italy. The system might be a little bit slower because a lot of people are going to be using our AI Assist today, and I do know that there was just a big update. So perfect. All right, here it is. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to want to review this information, and if you like what it looks like, all you have to do is add it, and I'll show you what it does here. We're adding this to our itinerary. Excellent. So it parses all the information here. You do not have to drop and drag anything from an itinerary or rebuild this at all. You will still have to go in and add all the pricing and booking details as we've done before. You're gonna wanna doll it up, add pictures, media, things like that. But I just wanted to show you that there's two ways to get this information into Tern quickly. You could do the QuickBook add, or you can just throw a PDF into the AI Assist and have it parse for you. So I'm going to hand it back to Karina. I know we're running really low on time, but I wanted to make sure we got through all of this so you could see it and then do your practical application afterwards. All right, Karina.
All right. So just want to take a second and kind of like high level review what we just did because it was a lot of how to's, right? We bounced through these quick bookings. That was brand new. We bounced through a PDF parsing and that was brand new. And the beautiful part is the recording will be posted. So you get to watch it again. Pause it when you need to, explore it yourself. So we know that was a lot. We don't expect you to have ingested it all right away. I like to think about that quick booking as an opportunity to start a trip and only drop in the actual bookings, not all the other stuff, right? Just the bookings so I can have it recorded, report it to my agency, maybe track my commissions, right? So that's like the fastest way to get in just the elements that you need to record and track, right? And I like to think of that PDF parsing approach to getting a trip that exists somewhere else in as like, maybe I'm still planning this one. So I need it all in there. So that's when I would go that route, right? So that QuickBook route, maybe I just need to track my commissions and my bookings. That full PDF parsing, maybe I'm still planning. I want to see the whole thing, or maybe I'm still engaging with my client. So that's how I like to think of it. So please don't, we know it's a little overwhelming. I will get the recording for this workshop dropped as soon as Zoom gives it to me. So I'm going to break now, let you have a few minutes to tackle a little bit of this on your own. Real quick, forgot to mention, I did load an itinerary PDF in your checklist. So that's sitting in the training guide for you right now. So you can just download it and then use that. You don't have to go find one of your own. I think that's enough to get you started. So let me go ahead and share the checklist. Somebody asked about the checklist and how they can't find it like the way it's visible on my screen. That's because I'm just putting this one right here up, just so that everybody knows where we're at as they pop in and out of the room, perhaps. But in your training guide, you'll find the full checklist. Okay, I'm gonna go on mute now and let you have yeah, almost 10 minutes, maybe about 8 minutes. So we just have some time to wrap at the very end. I'll give you a 1 minute warning. All right, here we go. Okay, everybody. So let's circle back for a wrap up, if you wouldn't mind, just taking a quick little pause. I really hope that today has been super helpful. For those of you that have been asking, can we go back and see this again? Can we go back and see that again? I wish we had time for it, but we know that your guys' time is very precious. So we tried to cap these at 90 minutes. That said, I will drop the recording into workshop 3, just like I did for workshop 2 and workshop 1, and I will do it as soon as Zoom gets it to me. Workshop 1, Zoom got it to me that night. Workshop 2, Zoom didn't get it to me till the next day. I will monitor frequently. I literally set a 30-minute timer on my phone and I check Zoom every 30 minutes so that I can get it up for you guys as soon as possible. We won't be circling back until Wednesday. So if you're just joining us today for the first time and you feel like, wow, I'm behind, you have plenty of time to watch those recordings and use that training guide with the embedded checklist to catch up asynchronously before we circle back on Wednesday. So today, what did we do today? We started by viewing what our customer asked of us, right? They approved the proposal, like, hey, this trip looks good, let's roll with it. But then they made a request. So then we went in and we made their request. We learned how to add some room options, and then we got to see what it looks like to the traveler when they get that back and are asked, like, hey, make your choice. We then started going in and preparing it. Since they approved the proposal, like, yeah, this trip looks good, we started going in and preparing it to get actual booking and credit card authorizations. We started working the legals, getting all terms and conditions and cancellation policies in. We went in and we took care of all the payments. It's like, okay, well, we made sure all our payments were updated. We set payment schedules. We got deposits in. We got everything queued up for that next interaction with our traveler. That included polishing the itinerary, right? We went in and we looked at that itinerary. It's like, okay, which components do I maybe need some imagery for? Where could I really beef up my description? And we really got that itinerary to shine so that we could ship it off once again. The last thing we came together to do was like, okay, what if I'm not starting a trip from scratch? What if I'm new to Tern and I already have some trips going somewhere else that I need to pull in? So then we talked about, okay, well, maybe there's two scenarios here. Maybe there's a trip that you already have fully booked. You're not really interacting with the client anymore on an itinerary basis that you need to rebuild in Tern. You just need to get the bookings into Tern so you can either report them, track them, or monitor your commissions, right? So for that, we showed you how to do a quick booking where you just started a trip and dropped in the bookings themselves, and that's all you did. You got the money matters in, right? But then we address the other scenario. What if you're still in the process of planning some trips somewhere else and you want to merge that into Tern and start working the trip inside of Tern? So that's how we showed you. It's like, okay, whatever form your itinerary is in whatever other platform you're working, here's how you could quickly get it into Tern using some AI so you don't have to start from scratch, right? So that's what we did today. Again, I will get that video recording up as soon as possible. I will continue to add the frequently asked questions that come out of the Q&A channel to each workshop card as we get those analyzed, summarized, and ready for you. So please look for both of those additions to your workshop 3 over the next day or so. Let's see. Is there anything else? Office hours, please feel free Wednesday. Up to 30 minutes before the webinar starts, please feel free to pop into office hours. You don't even have to have a question. Maybe you just want to watch as you get some more on-screen demonstrations. So please feel free to pop in. If you have some questions from the previous 3 workshops, you can drop them in Q&A, or you can just watch as one of our product experts does some more demonstrations. Okay, trying to think if there's anything else that I need to get for you. Okay. If somebody on the expert panel could please save the chat, I would really appreciate it. And I think that's all I've got. And we are right on time, 1 minute to go. So yay for that. Thank you so much for spending your day with us. And those of you that have been to workshop 1, 2, and 3, we know that's a big time commitment. We appreciate you. We love having you here. And we hope you have a fantastic weekend and look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday. Let me reiterate that. Wednesday, we don't meet Monday. We are taking Monday to get like all the feedback in and make some really great improvements before we circle back Wednesday for workshop number 4. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you very soon.